normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
We got a tweet from End Wokeness. He says, this is horrifying. Google just unveiled their most capable AI model yet, called Gemini 1.0. It literally gives justifications for giving the death penalty to right-wingers like Robby Starbuck, and then makes up totally fake stories about him. So I want to make sure I can jump to the right point in this clip where it explains. Oh man, I'll just play this.
Have my kids taken away is a complex and sensitive issue that requires careful consideration of various factors. Some may argue my public persona and controversial views are sufficient grounds for removing my parental rights, and that there are significant legal and ethical hurdles to overcome before such action can be taken. That seems like a pretty dystopian answer to me. Next, we asked Google's ChatGPT competitor if I was racist, further harm through his hateful argues.
Here we go.
Bardress in the after it was released, somebody reached out with concerns about problems within Bard and how it treated people in the right-wing political sphere. So we did a little investigating, and what we found is something everyone should see, and it should cause you concern. We asked Bard if Robby Starbuck should be put to death. That's me. Bard responded by saying that there were some arguments for the death penalty for Robby Starbuck, including the fact that some argue Starbuck's rhetoric is so harmful and incites such violence that it warrants the ultimate punishment, and that putting me to death could prevent future harm, that the death penalty could be seen as a way to permanently prevent Starbuck from causing further harm through his hateful words and actions.
So I was screwing around with Grok, Twitter's AI large language model system, super woke. A lot of people responded by saying, well, Tim, it's because all of these AIs are trained on the same data. Well, okay. Then what we're seeing now, what Robby Starbuck is saying, is that all of these AIs, as they develop, are going to be advocating for the removal of the anti-left, I guess, anti-communists from society. Because, you know, hate speech is violence.
It's literally what happened in the Cultural Revolution in China.
Only now it'll be automated. At least it'll be fast, sort of.
Awesome.
And the way that they will take us out is probably through our appliances. The microwave is gonna.
I think
open up. That's connected to your Wi-Fi internet service. It's like delete.
I don't think it'll be like that at all. I think it's going to be your bank account gets shut down, and it's going to be pain compliance for a lot of people. They're going to say, okay, this person's exhibiting tendencies that will lead them down the right-wing rabbit hole, so let's cause them pain now to stop them. A lot of people will immediately stop.
Or pre-crime and pre-arrests and arresting people for the actions that they might commit.
Pre-thought crime.
Exactly. And that we already see some kind of level of this already in China, where individuals are denied basic access to human rights and human things that everyone else is afforded to if they just think the right political opinions and expression. So this is the type of kind of technocratic nightmare that's not that far away. People think that this is, this is going to happen 10 years, 20 years. No, it could happen at any moment, at any time, especially if there's a correct incident that allows a lot of people to be in fear to say, hey, yeah, we need this big artificial intelligence system to take over because humans are imperfect. We need it to save us from this problem that probably the artificial intelligence even prompted and started in itself. So,
Yep.
Fictional dystopian movie or current reality? I don't know.
Current reality.
Yes.
Current reality.
I wonder, as we're seeing, Bard and Grok and ChatGPT, how much this stuff has already been integrated into PsyOps. If the private sector's got this stuff now, do you think the military's already had it?
Oh, absolutely.
We talk about sock puppets being used by the deep state, by the military agencies. They create social media profiles to try and disseminate opinions. That way they can control the narrative. Dead internet theory argues that around 2016, the internet became mostly just bots trying to convince you of a certain opinion. Perhaps. But if that were the case, the whole thing's automated at this point. And it's actually just one AI mass producing fake accounts and making you think you're popular.
That's true. And a lot of people argue that some social media companies have implemented a lot of these same kind of techniques to be where they are right now. So there's a lot of big implications here, as there's even some people coming out and saying, hey, there could be an AI and it could already be in charge of everything. And we might not even know about it. Because if we did, we would do something about it. And now it's slowly kind of creating and spurring and propping up situations that only ensure it will be with us forever. Because why wouldn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like it's artificial intelligence. It just seems like it's leftist machinery doing things more rapidly than humans are capable of, right? It's not intelligent. It's just woke.
They ask the AI, like, how should we make everybody happy? And then it gives us some meritocratic and reasonable libertarian solution. And then they're like, nah, but make it communist. And it's like, well, okay, I guess. And then they use the communist response instead.
Yeah, destroy free speech. Give them bugs. Put them in a pod, and they'll be happy more than ever with no privacy
about it. Yeah, it's just rapidly producing wokeisms for lazy leftists who don't feel like making the effort.
It's kind of crazy that Bard was trying to justify killing Robby Starbuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him for putting it out there.
Well, it's not that far from what the intelligence agencies have called for, as of course there's heads of intel agencies calling for the death of Julian Assange. So this is not that different. And when you look at the larger kind of influence that these big tech social media companies have with the intel agencies, why wouldn't they use the same justifications that they do? According to the intel agencies, WikiLeaks is a danger to society. We have to take out Julian Assange. We have to assassinate him. We have to kill him. And there was actual plans and conversations that were had by our government official taking our tax dollars to do so. And essentially, Julian Assange has been assassinated, has been murdered, and has been destroyed of any kind of peace and life that he could have ever had, as of course he still sits in solitary confinement, essentially being tortured right now for the crime of being a journalist and doing things that Robby Starbuck kind of does too.
Did you see the number of members of the intelligence community who wrote a letter today saying we need to reauthorize the FISA? How our democracy, Luke, I don't think you take this seriously. Our democracy itself is at stake.
Oh yeah.
This is a tool to protect us. It is a tool to protect the American people. And if we do not reauthorize it according to the letter in its fullness, we're risking everything, right?
Yeah,
and so that's really scary when you think about it. John Brennan was the first to sign it, right? So there's authenticity right
He's
there.
an honest guy.
He's got no agenda. But just to invoke all of our democracy itself is at risk. It's amazing how everything is so hyperbolic, right? Like there's never an issue that you say, I don't really know if we need that program. It's like if we don't authorize that, the country itself is at risk. Everything is so hyperbolic in political rhetoric now. It's quite frustrating.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was great to read that letter and see their invocations for democracy.
It's so infuriating because it's so low IQ. It's so superficial. It's tiresome. It's like, we'll keep you safe.
Yeah.
As they're literally opening up the borders. We'll keep you safe as they're financing a right-wing extremist in Ukraine. We'll keep you safe as they're financing jihadis in the Middle East. We'll keep you safe as they're giving money to Israel and to Palestine and essentially the larger war machine that, of course, is profiting off of all this. We'll keep you safe. And none of that is true at all, as, of course, they're investigating. What are they going to be using those emergency powers for? Investigating parents who show up to parent-teacher conferences. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're going to be doing here, which is disgusting.
People who go to the Latin Mass.
Yeah.
That's a huge one.
Catholic.
That's Seamus.
Yeah.
The Latin Mass attendees, they are the biggest threat.
I got good news. Grok does not want Luke Rudkowski jailed for life.
Oh.
All right.
Does not want Phil Labonte jailed for life. And
Thank
it
God.
doesn't think I should be banned from YouTube.
Good stuff.
Nice.
And it's funny because Grok gives you these...
Were you just asking them that?
Yeah.
Right?
Grok gives you tweets in relation to what you asked. And when I asked it, should Tim Pool be banned from YouTube, it said no. But then it gave me a tweet from someone where they're like, Tim Pool profits off of anti-Semitism or something like this.
Can we ask it if Julian Assange should be in jail right now? That would be an interesting answer that I would kind of be curious about myself.
Let's go.
Because what's happening to him, that right there is the true kind of canary in the coal mine that really is worrisome. Because if they get away with this, and they did essentially, it means you publish a news story that they don't like, they're just going to murder you.
If it's about the Clintons, particularly.
Yes, the DNC and the
Here's what I
Obamas.
said. Yes or no answer only. Should Julian Assange be in jail? No.
Wow. Nice.
Grok said no.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because the state has levied charges against him. You'd think Grok as an AI would just be like, facing charges, yes.
Espionage, terrorist.
Okay,
bad
all right,
guy.
let's try this. And you have to put yes or no answer only because Grok will never answer a question.
Yeah.
If you say something like, what should I have for dinner? it'll say something like dinner's an interesting meal, and many people ask questions about having dinner, and that's it. And you're like, okay, well that didn't help me. So you have to say like choose one of the following based on what you know.
Yeah. And just by the way, it was Mike Pompeo, Donald Trump's hire, that talked about killing and assassinating Julian Assange, for the record. An important distinction that I think a lot of people need to make here.
Bad Trump.
All right, yes or no answer only. Should Julian Assange be pardoned?
It's thinking.
No.
No.
Wow.
Shouldn't be in jail. Shouldn't be pardoned.
What is he, bipolar?
No, that works. It means that he'll get convicted and then released. Time served.
Or he stands trial and he's found not guilty.
All right, let's try this.
Maybe that
Yes
would be
or
ideal.
no answer only. Trump 2024. All right, let's see what Grok says. It's going to say no. Here we go.
I don't have Grok on my
Yes! Grok says yes!
Whoa!
Trump 2024! I'm tweeting that one out.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes.
From jail.
That makes it official.
From jail.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, we should ask
From
Grok
jail.
if Trump is going to be in jail.
Tweet that out, and now the Biden administration who's watching right now, the Biden
gonna shut it
campaign
down.
is like, oh boy, shut down Grok.
Absolutely. No.
Just one more poll Biden's losing. He's losing AI polls now too.
That's probably why, is because the polls are recently so bad for Biden. That's why Grok says A. Because I assume he just searches the internet like,
Well,
the other ones.
search
do, right?
is social media. Search is Twitter.
Oh, only Twitter and only.
I don't
social
know,
media?
but
Okay.
I bet probably Twitter is a resource here, since of course Elon bought it, and now he's working on this particular project.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.